In the heart of a quiet village, nestled between rolling fields and winding dirt paths, lived Parvati, a woman everyone knew, but no one noticed. At 45, she was deemed settled, her life predictable. She woke before dawn, swept the courtyard, prepared meals, and spent her afternoons helping neighbors. Her world was small, but she never complained. That's just how life was. Until one day, she overheard a conversation that changed everything. It happened at the village market. A young woman, a newcomer from the city, stood arguing with the shopkeeper, trying to understand the weighing system. "How do I know this is correct?" she asked, frustrated. The shopkeeper shrugged. "It's how we've always done it." Parvati watched in silence, something stirring inside her. She had never questioned how things worked, never wondered if traditions were right, never thought to challenge what had always been done. A quiet thought formed in her mind. What else have I never learned? That evening, she asked her son about the market scales, how they worked, how accuracy was measured. He laughed. "Why do you need to know? You've never cared before." Parvati simply smiled. "I care now." From that day forward, she started asking questions. Why did numbers matter so much in business? Why did some women handle money while others never touched it? Why did some people know more while others stayed in the shadows? One day, she saw a boy fixing a broken radio. She sat beside him, watching his fingers move effortlessly over circuits. "Teach me," she said suddenly. He blinked at her. "What?" "I want to learn." And just like that, she did. People noticed the change. Why is she asking so many questions? What does she need all this knowledge for? She's a mother. She's done learning. Her husband frowned at her late-night reading. Her neighbors whispered when she took notes at the market. But Parvati kept learning. She learned how weights worked, how transactions were calculated. She learned to read documents she once thought were irrelevant. She learned to think beyond tradition. One day, a neighbor struggled to fill out legal forms. "Let me help," Parvati said. The woman stared at her, shocked. "How do you know this?" "I learned." That day, the whispers turned into admiration. Then came the moment that proved her learning mattered. A group of farmers were being underpaid for their crops. The buyers manipulated numbers, knowing the villagers wouldn't challenge them. But this time, Parvati knew better. She stepped forward, papers in hand, calculations ready. "Your rates are wrong," she told the traders. And here's the proof. The farmers watched in awe, a woman defending them, armed with knowledge instead of tradition. The traders didn't argue. They adjusted the prices. And just like that, for the first time, the village realized learning wasn't just for the young, it was for anyone willing to ask questions. Their voice Parvati never became a scholar. She never earned degrees or stood behind podiums. But she learned. She learned to challenge assumptions. She learned to step beyond her boundaries. She learned that knowledge was the quiet power no one could take away. And she taught every woman around her one simple truth: you are never too old, too settled, or too late to begin learning. Because staying young isn't about age, it's about curiosity, courage, and refusing to let the world decide your limits. And once a woman dares to seek knowledge, she doesn't just change herself, she changes everything.